Welcome to today's lesson on elections in the Philippines. We're going to explore the different types of electoral systems, so how they affect our voting, and why elections are so important for Philippine democracy. So let's start with something you can relate to. When election season comes around, you probably hear those campaign jingles everywhere, right? Okay, you can't help but hum along, but don't forget the rallies, the food, the music, the crowd. So it feels almost like a festival, right? So now, think about it. How do these things affect the way we see elections in the Philippines? They make it fun and festive, but at the same time, they highlight how important these events are for our country's future. So, what makes election here in the Philippines unique compared to other countries? Let's check. What is an electoral system? An electoral system is the method we use to run elections and decide who wins. So in the Philippines, we have a few different systems, and let's break them down. First, the first past the post system. So it's like a race. So the person who crosses the finish line first wins. For example, in presidential elections, the candidate with most wins no matter what if they have more than half the votes or not. Okay? Then there's the proportional representation. So this is giving everyone a piece of a pie based on how much they contributed. So if the political party gets 30% of the votes, they get 30% of the seats. So that is how the party list works in the Philippines. So what is the two types of electoral system? We have first past the post and proportional representation. In first past the post, if the candidate with the most votes wins the election. In the proportional representation, if the political party gets 30% of the votes, they get 30% of the seats. So that is how party list system works in our country. So how does this play out in the Philippines? So here's an example. In the presidential elections, we use the first past the post system. So the candidate with the highest number of votes, like Duterte in 2016, wins the election. But when it comes to the party list system, it's a different game. So this system is designated to give smaller or minority groups a voice in the Congress. For example, if the party gets 10% of the national vote, they'll get the 10% of the seats in the House of Representatives. So the purpose of this is to ensure representation for groups like farmers or youth organizations. First past the post versus proportional representation. Okay, so let's compare the two systems. So first past the post, it's simple. It's like a race. Whoever gets the most vote wins. Okay? In proportional representation, on the other hand, make sure that every vote counts equally. In the party list system, everyone has a chance to be represented based on the percentage of the votes their party gets. Now, what about mixed electoral systems? So this is where we combine both systems. For example, in Metro Manila, you might have local elections where both systems are used. So the first past the post method for the mayor's race and the proportional representation system for some local representatives. So the combination helps ensure that different voices are heard while also making sure that we can vote for strong leaders who can serve the community well. Now, let's talk about evaluating Philippine elections. So we've all seen election season come and go. But have you ever wondered what about the quality of our elections? So think back of the last national election. Was there good voter turnout? Did political parties stay true to their promises? And what about the election transparency? Okay, so take a moment to reflect and jot down your thoughts on your notebook about the strength and challenges of our electoral processes. So here's what we have learned today. Elections are crucial for choosing our leaders and ensuring representation for different groups. Next, we have different electoral systems which with pros and cons. And last, understanding the systems help us see how our votes contribute to shaping democracy. Remember, elections aren't just a fun time with the jingles and rallies, they're a serious tool for ensuring the voice of the people heard.